What do you think the spirit of LitLive really is?
I think it's exactly that, which is the spirit of LitLive is the that kind of enthusiasm and warmth and just openness to a diversity of different kinds of writing and different kinds of writers. There's something, we talk about Hamilton being a large town, sophisticated and urbane, but it's also a small town in the sense of being inviting and being happy to make things happen. And so there's a kind of excitement that we get to actually put on a reading series, and we get to have great writers, despite being cosmopolitan and urbane and extremely well dressed.
So your book, Chrysalis, was noticed.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. And so that sent you to a lot of places. So you have had a lot of exposure to different kinds of events in the reading series.
Yeah.
Why are they so important to writers in their development?
Yeah, I think for LitLive, for a lot of different kinds of events, it's that personal connection, right? You can put a book online, there's a lot of things your publisher can do for you, but there's nothing quite like an author in person reading their work to an audience, getting that kind of immediate reaction, and then, walking the 2 steps down back to your little table. You have the opportunity to have a little drink with people, chat with people after, sign books after. And again, it's sort of the warmth, the sort of casualness of our space and our event that allows people to feel a little more comfortable. It's not like do your reading, do your signing, get out of the space, and then you get the next event going. It's really kind of dedicated to the 4 authors that are there for each LitLive, gives them the space and the comfort and the freedom to sort of be themselves, feel more comfortable. People get a real sense of who they are, of like, not just like what this book is, like here's the book and you should buy it, but like who are you as a writer and a person? And I think people feel more comfortable like showing a little bit more of that.
Which makes for a great evening.
How does a series like LitLive shape, like doing readings, putting yourself, for a writer, putting themselves out in front of people to read their work, how does that shape writers?
Well, for one thing, it helps you know that you're part of a community. That the work that you do is, alone. You're alone in your room or wherever you are. And to be able to read to a group of people, many of whom are writers, but not all of whom are writers, is an opportunity to grow yourself into a community, to know that you're not alone doing this.
To Jean Ray Baxter's house, which is in East Hamilton. The writers came over. There was a procession of cars driving to her place. She opened up her beer and wine cellar, and we basically held the reading in her living room, dining room. And there are photographs of people clustered on the stairs going upstairs, the people in the hallway. The book table was shoved on the dining room. The book table was shoved on the dining room table, and we have some photographs of that, which I was actually looking at today. And that to me was extraordinary because we didn't need any microphones. Lots of them were sitting on the floor. There was a really attentive audience. There was a very close intimacy between the readers and the audience. And you can just see it in the photographs, and I can remember it for hosting that night and for just being part of it. That was amazing.
Early December or something like that. And I was like, oh, there's not even going to be anybody there. And I got there, and the place was packed, right? And it was a fantastic energy as soon as I came in. Everybody was very warm and welcoming, and made sure that, I got, sat down with people that I knew or wanted to know. And, I got to see some local great authors who I'd only ever just heard about or seen as writer in residence at McMaster University, which is where I work as my day job. And Gary Barwin was there as one of them, and I actually got to sit with Gary for the first time. And when I was sitting at this table with Gary, I thought, oh my God, like I'm actually a real writer now. It actually felt that way to me. And so, it set me at ease a lot more. And when I got up to read, and then I sat back down on the table, and Gary told me how great it was and everything. And I was just glowing.
Yeah. You read recently for LitLive. Tell us about that experience.
I think the thing that struck me was, because one never knows on a Sunday night what sort of crowd you're going to get. It was an incredibly vibrant crowd. The room was full of people, and the 4 readers were so different. And I was sort of thinking about going to readings as like a young person, like in my 20s, and I would go when I wasn't reading and thinking, like, this is what it was sort of like. 4 men of a certain age who kind of all look the same would get up and they'd all read their poems and they'd be sort of like aesthetically very similar, and there was no vibrancy or energy to it. And it was something that really struck me about that event a few months ago, that each reader who got up was totally different. Like what they were reading was different, their delivery was different, their various identities were very diverse as well. And I think the series has done a really good job of cultivating that kind of like diverse and legitimately diverse, not just like cosmetically diverse, but like aesthetically and style, personality, genre, form, all the stuff you want in the arts celebrated in a place like this that has incredible diversity. So I thought that was really awesome, and I really appreciated and enjoyed that about the event.
So you are a writer, but you were also on the organizing committee for LitLive. What has that volunteer experience been like for you?
It has been a delight. It is really fun to see the behind the scenes of putting on this spectacular event. Such a wonderful group of people. So great to be able to play a tiny little part in making this event happen, because it means so much to so many people, and to just have something that happens on the regular, like, oh, I'll see you at LitLive, or like, it's just such a great way to stay connected in person with people, especially these days when everything is so online.
Okay. And you, like some of the people we've had here tonight, have been involved for a few years, I guess we could say, right? Tell us about your impressions of LitLive. Do you have a favorite one from the years that you've been involved?
I think the one at Jean Ray Baxter's house was one, but the other was that Monaco's tossed us out. I think they sold the building, and so for a number of, I don't know, months or so, we had to move from place to place to place because nobody wanted us. And so we wound up in the basement of a Portuguese restaurant on James Street. It's gone now. And in a vegan restaurant in Lark Street and so on. Finally, we found a home on King William Street. And that's my second favorite.
Hey LitLive, happy birthday! Happy 30th! You can drive and vote and do all sorts of things, and you're the best.